Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. A combined 3 league MVPs behind the both of them. Stats that would absolutely put them into the elite QB conversation. So today we're asking you, sports fans, Ravens, Bills, why is it that these two amazing quarterbacks, the heartbeat of their franchises, just can't seem to get it done? We're going to find out today. So there's something that just ain't stirring the pot around here. You got two guys who year after year keep their teams in the conversation. They're always around, but it seems like they just can't do enough. Or can they? Look, we've looked at the stats. We've looked at the videos. We're trying hard here to figure it out. If we take you back to that AFC Championship game with the Bills and the Chiefs, as you can see during this play here, Josh throws up a desperation throw at the very end of the game with 2 minutes left. I mean, you can't ask for better here. The fact that he was able to get the ball out, get the ball to his tight end, and he just wasn't able to come up with the catch, man. Look, crazy. I don't know if this one's on Josh Allen.
Yeah, I agree. This definitely is not on. I mean, the protection was zero, right? Because half that Chiefs defense was in his face when he's throwing the ball. And like you said, just getting it to the tight end was amazing. You know, I mean, it would have been a great catch if he made it, but still, that's definitely not on Josh Allen. Especially look at the score, right? 29-32. That would have been okay, even if he catches it. All right, they're going to get a first down, and maybe they move it in for a touchdown, or if not, they're kicking a field goal to tie the game. And then you're back to what they've been a couple of years ago when that crazy game where they scored like 40 points and still lost, right? So,
right.
So yeah, I don't know. I definitely Josh Allen has put up some big time numbers in the playoffs, and they've still lost, right? And I don't care if it's to Patrick Mahomes, right? We could say, well, he lost to Patrick Mahomes. Eventually, you got to beat that guy. And eventually, your team has to get past that team, right?
Right.
When Tom Brady and Belichick and the Patriots, when they were running, for 20 years, they were always in there. Eventually, someone got past them, right? Whether it was Peyton Manning, Roethlisberger, right? They finally got past him.
Joe Flacco.
Even Joe Flacco. They figured it out.
The guy who had the perfect passer rating in the playoffs and the Super Bowl, mind you. Look, I mean, that's what we're looking at here, fans. We're trying to figure out what the common denominator is. Now, as you saw, that ball was thrown by Josh Allen to Dalton Kincaid, their tight end. Again, the throw was, for all intents and purposes, the throw was terrible, but right. It still made it to Dalton Kincaid. It hit his hands. And if he catches that ball, you run the ball, you do a little short run play, you get in field goal range, you kick the field goal, you tie the game. Now, let's take you to this most recent divisional loss from the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills.
Now, this was to tie it, right? This is the 2-point conversion.
That's right.
With a minute and a half left.
Roll, flip it, got it. Oh, the ball was dropped. He had the 2-point conversion in his hands. Andrews did not hold on.
Yeah, he couldn't have got a better throw. I mean, so that's definitely not on Lamar, for sure. But again, this was going to tie it.
Right.
And look at that. Oh. I mean, you got to feel bad for the guy. That's right in his chest. Yeah, exactly. He does catch that all day. I mean, that's Mark Andrews, one of the better tight ends in the league. But again, that was going to tie the game, and Buffalo, as you could see, would have had like a minute and 30 to try to get into field goal range or whatever to win the game. So,
Chris, I don't know, but I'm starting to see a little bit of a theme here. Can we blame the tight ends? I I don't know. Now,
Yeah.
now I'm just saying these two games, the tight ends, the ball hits your hands. It's the golden rule in the NFL.
Right.
If the ball hits your hands, you gotta catch it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's, to me, in the NFL, it's a team effort, right?
Sure.
This is not the NBA where it's 5-on-5 and your superstar could carry you right to the finals, right? It just doesn't happen here. The NFL, you need your defense just as much as you need your offense, right? As we could see the scores. Just look at the scores. If the defense on either side plays better, it doesn't come down to that one play.
Absolutely.
Right? It's a totally different game. So, and with the Raven game, we know we talked about it before. Yeah, they could have ran Derrick Henry more in the second half, and maybe, play keep away a little bit, play ball control. I know a lot of people don't like that word, but you know what? When you control the ball and you keep it away from that other guy, when you keep it away from Josh Allen, when you keep it away from Patrick Mahomes, they can't beat you, right?
That's
so
right.
The longer you have the ball,
the better.
Right. So
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and as we were discussing, the other common theme in the Baltimore Ravens playoff blunders have been fumbles, ball control. You want to talk about ball control? You're solid throughout the regular season. Nobody who's anybody wants to see the Ravens in the regular season, unless you're the Buffalo Bills for some reason. And then you come back and put up this amazing comeback win. But anyway, but when it comes to the playoffs, these teams are almost like, well, that's a win. I've talked about it with many people. It's like, at this point in time, Lamar Jackson's rookie jitters, NFL jitters, playoff jitters, they should be gone. This is a guy who is uber competitive, who every time he gets a chance to get behind a podium, all he says is that he wants to win. That's all he cares about, is winning. Right. And sometimes I wonder if his desire to win, or win big, or win in stunning whatever the case may be, I wonder if that overrides his sense of being that teammate that he's been all year.
I don't know if that's, I think they just want to win. I think players just want to win. Coaches just want to win. I don't think they want to win by a lot, or by, like you said, by some elaborate fashion or something like that. They'll take an ugly victory any day, especially in the playoffs, right? Well, as long as they're moving on to the next round, or to the championship, or to the Super Bowl, I don't think they care about, style points, or, I threw for 250 and I also ran for 100 or whatever, right? So yeah, I'm going to disagree with that. Yeah, I just think, listen, they just want to win. They just have to figure out, both of these teams have to figure out how to put it all together. It's not just about the quarterbacks having a big game. It's not just about this. It's about the defense has to stop the other team, because you can't put you can't put all the pressure on the offense. Like, all right, you got to put up 35 points today, because our defense,
right.
Like, we're not going to be able to stop Patrick Mahomes this game, or we're not going to be able to stop Josh Allen, or whoever it might be. This year it might be Herbert and the Chargers. Like, you can't put all that pressure on your offense every single year. But I think with Buffalo, at least with Buffalo, a little bit more than Baltimore, that's what it seems like it happens. Like, Josh Allen knows he's got to be, we call him Superman, right? When he makes these comebacks, but
oh yeah,
be that in the playoffs. He has to be a guy that's putting up 30-something points. Like, he lost 42-36 to the Chiefs a couple of years ago.
Right.
It ain't on him, right?
So, see, I mean, that's where, and this is good. This is why I'm glad we're figuring out, we're breaking this down. This is where I would disagree with you. I feel like it's just as much on Lamar Jackson, if not more, because for whatever reason in the playoffs, we seem to forget what got us to the playoffs in the first place. And that is our running backs.
Right.
Again, you sign a guy like Derrick Henry, Harbaugh, you make the statement that this is why you signed this guy. You signed him for playoff moments, for big games, for the big games. And then you and Monken, for whatever reason, go, all right, Lamar, hope that arm's strong, because you're going to be throwing all game. Why?
Right. Why change
For
Right.
why?
Right. Like, why change your identity? Why change your like what got you there? Right. Whatever got you there, you shouldn't change it until the other team shows you that they could stop it.
That they could stop it.
Right. That's
Right.
that would be my strategy. Like, hey, we're gonna do this because we know it's worked all season long.
Yeah.
And if they do stop us, then we got plan B, right? You just make sure you have plan B. But I would always go with my plan A. And maybe it's a little different between Buffalo with Josh Allen and Buffalo than Lamar Jackson. I think Buffalo, it's more on the defense.
Yeah.
With Lamar, I'm not saying specifically Lamar, but I just think it's a different approach to those games. And they think, maybe they're thinking, oh, okay, they're going to try to stop our run.
Yes.
So we got to do something different instead of, I want them to prove that they could stop our running game. I want them to stop Derrick Henry. Then we could say, okay, then we got this plan and we'll beat them anyway. Right. Like that's.
You've got, to me, you've got 2 quarters to figure it out until halftime. You try that. Try it. Give it a shot.
Right.
If it doesn't work, you've got a whole nother half to go. All right. They stopped us in the first half. Come back out with something different, hit them with something they're not ready for. We go on, we win this game. Nope. You don't even give that a shot. You don't even give it a chance. If you go into the game expecting to be stopped, expecting to lose, expecting to be shut down 9 times out of 10, that's what's going to happen. That is not championship mentality.
Right.
I mean, you've done the work. You've done it season after season after season. Like I said, there is nobody, and we'll exclude that Bills game. There is nobody in the regular season, as I said before, who wants to see the Ravens in the regular season.
Right.
Because they know that this team is just, they're monsters. Yeah, right. They're monsters. And if they start rolling on offense, man, for a team that's consistently putting up 30, 40, and hell, sometimes even 50 points a game, why would you not take that same approach, that same mentality, that same play style into the playoffs? You should be, this team respectively should have at least 3 more championships.
Yeah,
we should be, and I'm look, sports fans, I'm not just talking out of my ass here.
Super Bowl 3 times.
Okay, at the very least, appearances, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Appearances or championships at this point, but it's the same thing year after year after year. And like I said, the reason, and again, I'm not coming at Lamar. I'm just going off of what I've witnessed. I have seen this man get frustrated with his players for not making routine plays, and that's understandable. But then he decides to put his cape on,
right?
And he tries to be Mahomes. He tries to be Josh Allen. He tries to be that Superman, which respectively during the regular season he is. Okay, we've seen him wiggle his way out of many plays that should have been dead in the water. Right. Okay, but in the playoffs, when you're in these situations and things have to go your way, because if they don't, you're done, you're out of there. I feel like in those moments, he goes, fine, if you're not going to do it, then I will. And the mentality becomes different. That's why I said, I don't believe for a second that Lamar is not a team player. There's not a teammate that he has ever had that has ever spoken bad about him. But I feel like I said, I feel like he wants to win so bad. He wants, I don't doubt that for a second.
Right.
But you got to remember what got you there. You got to remember that there are guys behind you that want that as much as you do.
100% agree. And I think maybe it's him. He's got to take control more and maybe override some of the play calling, or be more in the when they're coming up with a scheme for the game. a specific game plan, maybe he's got to speak up and say, listen, I want this game. Like, give it to me.
Right.
And I'll win it. You know what I mean? Maybe he's got to be that guy. I don't know. But something's got to change this year because they're going to be in the playoffs. We know that. There's no doubt about it. Something would have to really bad happen. Something really bad would have to happen for them to not make the playoffs. So they're going in. It's just a matter of now, like, what have you learned in these last couple of years? Like, what have you learned? What has gotten you beaten, right?
Right.
And you got to change that. And I think a part of that is the mindset going in. Like, they can't play. Maybe they're playing a little too cautious. I don't want to say afraid, but like maybe cautious. Like, oh, you know what? They're gonna stop our run, so let's beat them on the pass.
Right.
No, what got you there? Your running game. That's your identity. Don't lose that. And then, like you said, give it a shot in the first two quarters, and then at halftime, if it's a close game still, or it should be a close game. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, but at halftime, you say, all right, we got to go to plan B. Right. We got to beat them somewhere else because we can't beat them this way. They're keying up on stopping our run, so we got to go, with throw it in the air, whatever it is. But I think that's part of it. Like they're either going in cautious or they're overthinking it. Yeah. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Maybe they're just overthinking it. They're going in and, all right, before they stop our run, let's beat them with the pass. Or, just, you got one of the best running attacks in the league.
Yes. Let
them show you that they could stop it. Then say, okay, you could stop it. All right, try this. Right.
Right.
That I'm just, to me, that's common sense, but maybe they're just overthinking this and, and getting out of their game plan, their mindset.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, let's read off some stats here. Just recently, the Ravens posted this up. Okay, Lamar Jackson's all-time leader career passer rating is 102.65. His all-time leader QB rush yards, 6,256. His TD to intercept. Holy shit! His TD to interception ratio in the last 16 games is 44-3. He's got a QB rating of 119.6. He's got 5,087 total yards, 45 total TDs, and 4 interceptions. Then, on the other side, for the Buffalo Bills, you got Josh Allen with a QB rating of 101.4. He's thrown for a total of 4,262 yards. He's got a total of 41 TDs and 6 interceptions. Like we said, these guys are putting up monster numbers year after year after year. What is it going to take? What is the breaking point for these teams? When do they finally go, you know what? Quit is not an option. Losing identity is not an option. Man, it blows my mind how, like I said, not only has Lamar Jackson not made a Super Bowl appearance, it blows my mind even further still that the Bills still don't have their very first Super Bowl championship.
Right. Which is crazy when you think about how many great teams they had, especially in the 90s. They had that nice 4-year run where they got to the Super Bowl, but
lost every time.
I think at some point, like you said, it's about identity, and I think it's a little different for both teams. I think with the Bills, they got to figure it out on defense. Like, you got a guy, Josh Allen, scoring 25, 30 points, sometimes over 30 points a game, and you're still losing. So to me, that's more on the defense, right? Like, they got to figure it out. And their head coach is basically the DC there, right? Sean McDermott.
Yes.
So he's got to figure it out. And on the other side with Baltimore, they got to just stick with what they are. Like, just don't get away from who you are, and don't put, don't try to overthink it. Just go in there and be who you are, especially in these cold weather games. That just kind of falls into their plans when it's a game like last year, cold, windy, snowy, whatever, up in Buffalo. That's the game that Baltimore should win.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
with their offense.
Baltimore,
without a doubt, win it.
we're no stranger to the cold, like, you know, and that's been part of the conversation too. Oh, is the weather going to affect Lamar? Oh, is the heat, is the snow, is the rain, is the wind? It's like, dude, he's not the male. Okay. Lamar Jackson doesn't not show up if it's raining outside or if there's too much snow. Stop with that. That's bullshit. It's crap.
Right.
It's you have to be who you are regardless of the situation. That's how championships are won.
Right. I agree. Yeah. And he proved it last year. Like, he didn't play horrible. I mean, last year he had a pretty good game. He threw for 254, a couple of touchdowns. He did have a pick. And last year he did turn the ball over twice.
Yes, he did.
Right? He fumbled and he threw a pick.
Yes.
That's something that if you're going to win games, especially in the playoffs, you got to hold on to the ball. Right? Not saying it's all his fault or something like that, but in the playoffs, you got to make sure, because in the turnover margin, usually the team that wins usually wins that. Right? Right. So, and then Josh Allen in that game, did he turn the ball over? Let's see. Against Baltimore, no pick, and he didn't fumble.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, it's like
That's
I said.
That's a small, part of the game, but it's so big to me. That turnovers and special teams,
right,
to me are huge. If you could gain those advantages, then you're putting yourself in such a better position to win in the playoffs, because the games are so tight, as we see in all these games. They're always tight. They're always one score here, field goal, a touchdown, whatever. So, I think for Buffalo, it's play some defense. It's time to play some defense in the playoffs, right? It's time to improve there. And then with Baltimore, it's about sticking to what you are. Don't forget about your identity. Don't overthink things, and don't say, okay, let's put all the pressure on Lamar to throw the ball. He's got to complete, a bunch of passes or this or that. Just go in there. You got one of the best running attacks in football.
Yes.
Run with it.
Yes.
Force them to stop you. Then when they stop you, now we're going to beat you in the pass, right? But
yeah, I mean, I think the problem becomes, and no team's ever going to admit it. Why would they? But there are definitely teams out there who, when they see Derrick Henry coming, they're like, "Ah, shit," But then you run into that team. Hey, I will give credit where credit is due. You run into a team like Cleveland, who absolutely shut Derrick Henry down. They keyed up on Derrick Henry all day long. What did that do? That forced Lamar to have to beat the Cleveland Browns with his arm, which he did pretty handily, I'll say. But still, I mean, look, to me, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but to me, from Cleveland, that is a playoff mentality. We're going to stop you where we know your identity lies.
Right.
And that's what they did. That's when you're forced, you're backed into a corner, when you're like, okay, it just ain't working. You got to use the arm. But in the playoffs, you're not even giving it a shot. You got to give it a shot. You signed these guys for a reason. You have to use them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, we could beat a dead horse. We could keep saying the same things over and over. The Ravens are 1-1 on the year. The Buffalo Bills are 2-0 on the year. Both are heading into some pretty decent games this week. I mean, look, we say it year after year. We say that these teams are going to be in the playoffs again, in the conversation again. We say it because they consistently keep doing it. The hope is yes, that they will be back in those situations, but this is the National Football League. Anything can happen any given Sunday or Monday or Thursday
right.
or whenever they play.
Right.
If you guys have any thoughts, any conspiracies, any whatever on why you think that these two, like we said, at this point, I would consider both elite quarterbacks in the NFL, just can't make it over the hump, make sure to leave some comments down below and let us know. By the way, if you guys haven't already, it really would help out the channel and we'd appreciate it a lot if you guys could hit that like button for us and lets YouTube know that you like the video and you want to see more of what you like. If you could hit that sub button, and if you do, hit that bell, turn on all post notifications so that you never miss anything that Flight Club does. As always, get out there and remember rule 1.
Talk about Flight Club.
For Flight Club Football, this has been TBK, the Baltimore Kid. That's Chris. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.